All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another weekend at Loka's. Although it's not just any weekend at Loka's, but I'll get into that very shortly. I am, of course, LokaCola, and I'm also joined by Prentice1215.
What the heck kind of a name is Loka-Cola, eh? How'd a muppet like you pass selection?
That's a question I've been asking myself for a very long time. Hello, Guten Tag. Why am I a country human? Speaking of big questions, apparently. I guess it's one of those days. Anyway, we're playing some Modern Warfare Remastered, and it may seem a little that game. That's, I mean, kind of old, even if it's still a great game. But this is part of and I think I've said this in the last channel update that we're gonna do this combined, although I realize I only put one of them in the title now, but combined Road to Modern Warfare 2 slash COD 4 15th anniversary special. Since for whatever reason things just lined up that way this year. 15 years ago this game released, and now we're getting the latest iteration of the Modern Warfare series. So basically, we two plus Daxter, hopefully. We'll see when and
Eventually.
if he arrives. But the plan is to, because this is something I kind of started thinking about. Like, is there, like we have, as I said, the 15th anniversary for COD 4, and we have the Modern Warfare 2 22 coming up. I think I'm just gonna refer to to the games with the
years on them.
Yeah, like we do with Battlefront, because it's it's totally not confusing.
Well, I mean, I'm honestly still going to go with Modern 2 Warfare because with the way the logo lines up and everything, I mean, they make it so easy with the Roman numerals being in the middle of the. I think that's easier than saying Modern Warfare 2 22 as opposed to Modern Warfare 209 or something like that. It's such a mouthful. Honestly, I think the subtitle option would have been less of a mouthful because because at least there's no confusion.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the plan is to not just play COD Modern Warfare specifically, and I'll get that in. Well, actually, just about now. Since one of the things about COD 4, and now that we're going into Modern Warfare 2, is that game definitely set for one thing, it just changed the gaming landscape in general, but it also left a very huge mark on the modern warfare-esque setting, like modern military shooters. That's the title of that subgenre.
Oh, by the way, really quick, should I go ahead and get us into a game? Usually, you're the one that does that.
Oh yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, do that.
It just occurred to me that it's like we could probably be playing at this point. Like, oh wait, hold on, I'm in control.
Yeah. Yeah, for once it's not my fault because I get long-winded or anything. So yeah, and this is something that we'll probably also get into with the whole modern military shooter. I mean, of course, it's not a new thing. It is surprisingly, and I say surprisingly, it's not really surprising how far back this Modern Warfare era games go, but I think it may be surprising of how many of those actually existed even before COD 4. And so basically the idea is we start here at. I was gonna make a reference that might actually be in poor taste, but this is essentially the starting point where even a lot of series that had already gone into the modern times, like we've get to in the next couple of weeks, those being Battlefield and Siege, or I should say Rainbow Six. That's the name of the series.
Well, Siege is really kind of its own beast at this point, but I suppose that's a topic for another day.
Fair. So all those games have, in some way, shape, or form, definitely been affected and inspired by this particular game. So that's basically the idea. We'll play through these games inspired by Modern Warfare, the original one. Can I go through that? Battlefield 4, Rainbow Six Siege, and then rounding it up with Modern Warfare 2019 and probably Warzone as well, come to think of it, since we will also get the next iteration of Warzone as well.
And Warzone is a big thing to talk about when it comes to... Because the multiplayer on its own existed for 2 or 3 months after launch, and then Warzone launched at the beginning of the pandemic, and that was a really big deal for that game in general. Yeah. So it was already a great game, and then they added that, and that really took it to the next level. And it was already super popular. So let's do this, Marines. It's just too bad that we won't be able to play the original version of Warzone that actually launched in 2020, and we will have to play Caldera.
At the very least, it should hopefully be, I was about to say, somewhat, back to normalcy. Of course, that's not really what's gonna happen. I was thinking more in terms of, okay, there probably won't be any too crazy things going on right around then. Like it did last weekend when we dropped in, and there was this whole search and destroy-esque mode, and I terminated.
Oh, that's so bad.
And then that's actually that ended up being not featured in the stream because of technical issues, but I did save that clip, and I'm looking forward to that cursed video. Where it's just, oh yep, this is what Warzone is right now. We got Terminator just straight up terminating Raul Menendez from Black Ops 2. Oh, I headshotted that sniper with my AK.
Oh, cheeky nade. Banked it off the building. Ow, ow. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, accidentally shot my teammate. Good thing it's not hardcore. Surprisingly, a lot of
I got shot from a window. This game is awful.
All these people, like, I feel like there's a lot of people that actually don't remember what the Modern Warfare games actually were like back in the day.
Nope.
Based on some of these things where, I got shot from a window, and it's not a 3-lane map, and
yeah, they definitely were the ones that started with like Black Ops 2 or Ghosts as their first COD, which were very whoa, you scared me. Which were very more of the I don't want to use handholdy, but I mean their map design was much simpler.
Yeah.
In terms of execution and stuff like that, and it's like in some ways it's like and it's like some of the map design here does lead to camping, but I mean, is it in some instances is it camping or is it just holding down an area? It's like actually using tactics, because I mean, for Pete's sake, you don't see people drop shotting around corners in real
Yeah,
combat,
no.
do you? I'd pay good money to see like a live leak video of a Marine drop shotting around a corner, and it's like to take out an Al Qaeda guy in Fallujah in 2004. That'd be something.
That would be one heck of a thing. But yeah, to add to that, I'd say that kind of the I was gonna say more traditional map design, but I don't know. That seems also a bit weird to say when that's, you know, not what we started out with. But like the
COD 4 was a reinvention for sure that evolved the map design. So I think, while it's not original COD map design, it is, you know, for the era of what this is, it is, you know, that type of map design.
Yeah, I was gonna add a point for the 3-lane maps from Black Ops 1 or 2 or whatever, whenever they started doing that, where that map design, as you said, is more simple, and I think I'd also add more predictable, where it is more predictable where players are gonna end up, and in some, I'm not gonna say that, oh, you know, one is necessarily more deeper or anything. Well, I mean, I suppose simpler might imply that it's not as deep, but I don't think it's
worse. Yeah,
I don't think that's the issue.
I think
really,
there's
just
a
more...
good way and a bad way to do this type of map design and the 3-lane map design. For a couple of Modern Warfare 2019 maps, I totally understand the frustration of how they were laid out and stuff. And it's like, oh, it encourages camping and stuff. But there were some good ones in there for people. But, you know, in this modern day of the internet, everyone likes to look at things in black and white. And, you know, all blanket statements. I mean, everything is either all good or all bad. But I feel like what's like as a point towards the 3-lane map design in Black Ops 1, there was a lot of hiding in the corner, of course. There was a lot of like gimmicks on maps then that added something to the 3-lane map design. So like Nuketown, for instance, is super small. So it's it's a 3-lane map, but it's so small of a 3-lane map that it almost becomes that it almost doesn't have lanes at all because of how tiny it is. And you're spawning on top of each other, not like Shipment, but almost like it. But then where I can't remember the name of all these maps, but it's like there's the one with the Soviet rocket launch. And, it's like at a certain point, that rocket will launch and it'll make a portion of the map inaccessible for a certain amount of time, and it'll crisp fry anyone that's down there. And so at a certain point in the match, it's a risk reward of if you want to go to that side of the map. And then like there was another map that had like a big hangar door you could open, and that created like new lanes of fire even in the middle of the middle lane. So it's like so that is a good way to do a 3-lane map, because the map design's a little simpler, but you have this stuff that breaks it up and changes things around and stuff. Meanwhile, you get to say Black Ops 4, and that's when it becomes run of the mill, a little more boring and predictable, and with invisible barriers everywhere. Sledgehammer is guilty of doing a lot of that stuff as well. Where it's so it's like there's definitely a good and bad way to go about that type of map design. I'd say Call of Duty 4 definitely has a lot of good maps for the type of design they're working with.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay.
Especially for it being, you know, the first in a new type of Call of Duty for 2007, and it being, you know, different from the World War II games that came before it and everything. So, because I feel like from what I know of the others, it's like because I haven't played any Call of Duty game pre COD 4, and I feel like a lot of people are probably in that same camp. I don't know about you, but I feel like from what I've seen that like the maps were maybe a little larger in the World War II games, not exactly Battlefield large, but still, you know, definitely more open and You know, like they were huge. They were not huge, but they were battlefields as opposed to maps like this.
Hmm. Yeah, I have very limited experience with multiplayer in those games. I played the original one and Finest Hour on the PS2, but only only the campaigns really, and I think 1 or 2 matches in COD Classic while there were still people playing that. And the one map, funnily enough, that I played on in the original COD actually ended up finding its way into Modern Warfare 2019.
Oh, really?
I'm really blanking on the name of the map, but I think it was added in... It was fairly late. It was either in Season 5 or 6.
Oh, was it one of those late ones where it's like, oh, a new map? That's a surprise. Because it was basically all Warzone at that point.
I don't really remember, and I think it might have been called Harbor or something like that. It was... But that doesn't seem right either, because it wasn't necessarily...
Hold on, I'll look up the 2019 map names. And I'll see if... It may ring a bell. Okay. Category. Maps. So we've got the... Okay, here we go. We're just going to go down the alphabetical. Aisle 9, which I'm pretty sure is the... Oh, that's one of the face-off maps.
Yeah, okay. That...
Some of these are going to be face-off maps, for
yeah.
Sure. All Rob Air Base, Anaya Incursion and Palace, Arklov Peak, Atlas Superstore, Atrium, I'm pretty sure that's a face-off. Azir Cave. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I remember the harbor docks with Modern Warfare in... No, wait, that's one of the face-up maps, too. Drainage, so that's not the one I was thinking of. Euphrates Bridge, Grazina Raid, Gulag Showers, Gunrunner. Ooh, I like Gunrunner. Hackney Yard. Ooh, I like Hackney Yard as well. Hovek Sawmill. Is it Hovek Sawmill? Maybe.
No.
No, that was like that was a middle. That was like a season 3. That was too early.
Something like that.
Karst River Quarry, Candor Hideouts, Farmland, Livestock, Tank. There's the Mealstore Tank Factory, Petrov Oil Rig. That was a new map. That was obviously based on the original Modern Warfare 2. Piccadilly.
Everyone's favorite map.
Yeah. Port of Verdansk. That's from the Warzone map. Ramaza, Rust, Scrapyard, Shipment, Shoot House, Speed, St. Petrograd, Deck, Station. Oh, here we go. Suldal Harbor.
That might be the one.
Hold on, let me look at trivia and see. Suldal, nope, go away, ad. Suldal Harbor is a remake of Harbor from the first Call of Duty. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
How about that? I had no idea. I had no clue. That explains why the map design on that is so wonky, because it's from the original game.
Yeah.
The original ever game. Because I watched a lot, because a lot of YouTubers got back into Call of Duty when it came to Modern Warfare 2019. And when that map came out, I remember a lot of them hating it because it didn't have like any typical lanes at all. You know, it wasn't, forget about 3 lanes, it had no lanes.
Yeah.
Because it was like 1.5 lanes, and a lot of them complaining about it. Because all they do is play search and destroy, these YouTubers.
Yeah.
So
that sounds about right. Speaking of pre-COD 4 era maps making it into later games, we do actually have with the map pack for this game, there's Chinatown, and that is based on a map from COD 2 that I think is called Carentan or something like that. So it's not a common occurrence, but occasionally you do see one of those old maps, you know, popping up into the newer ones, albeit in a very much more modernized design, or aesthetics, I should say, because the design is still that old school type of.
Ah.
Enemy helicopter inbound.
Oh, what? Granted, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that, you know, people were not liking a lot of design aspects or maps in Modern Warfare 2019, considering when this remaster came out, everyone was excited, but then when they started playing it, it was kind of like, I don't know if it was a case of rose-tinted glasses being shattered, or people, or a lot of people playing this for the first time or whatever, but there was a lot of the same complaints then, where like, oh, this is so much camping, and oh, you essentially gotta be aiming down the sides when rounding corners, and I'm like, yeah, that's how it used to be. Yeah, that's how it used to be.
I didn't really pay attention to the discourse much at the time, except for everyone gushing about how lovingly the campaign was remastered. For the multiplayer, I didn't really pay attention to what people were saying because I was too busy playing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's like a repeat with Modern Warfare 2019 later, whenever we were playing it, we were like, oh, this is so good, we're having such a good time. Go to the Modern Warfare subreddit, and it's just,
oh gosh,
like, so much vitriol.
I'm convinced that a lot of subreddits are just for people that hate the game. They don't actually play it, and they don't talk to other people about how much they hate it.
I mean, that's generally how a lot of these things go, where the ones enjoying the game, well,
are playing the game.
Yeah, they're playing the game. They don't have time to go on the internet.
No, except to play the game on the internet. But yeah. Oh, I direct impacted someone with my grenade.
Oof.
Think fast, one. Oh, I love that I just got a thing that said think fast, and then a grenade dropped down in front of my face, and I did nothing. Oh, that missed.
Oh. That was a badly thrown grenade.
Yeah, so another thing that COD 4 did that was new was kill streaks.
Oh,
None
yeah.
of the previous games had that. So speaking of, this helicopter flying around right now.
Yeah.
That was new. Very, very rudimentary system compared to what would come later in Modern Warfare 2. Because in World at War pretty much copied the same thing. They had like the same 3 kill streaks everyone could get, and then Modern Warfare 2 is when they just like, all right, we're going nuts with this.
Yeah, that goes for a lot of things with this game, like in terms of kill streaks and perks and weapon attachments. It's definitely
class customization in general, really.
Yeah, like it is very basic compared with where we ended up in later games. But I suppose you could also say that that has made this game maybe not aging that well. And I suppose in some respect, yeah, but at the same time, I'm also thinking that, you know, yeah, it is very basic compared with what all of the stuff that came later, but it's still a good, solid base, if nothing else. But I do understand those complaints in like, oh, I mean, yeah, it is very basic going back to it. It's like, oh, that's it. so I can definitely see that, but I don't know if I would.
Well, because going through the campaign again recently, you know, I played through it, I enjoyed it, but then it was over. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty simple compared to what we would get, you know, much later on. And then I had sort of the same feeling, but a little differently with Modern Warfare 2 when I went through that again recently, where I was like, oh man, that's so good, but that's it. But that's because that's because there's no multiplayer on that remaster, and I really just like, you know, it'd be really nice to just jump on terminal and shoot someone in the face with akimbo 1887s. It just really ticks someone off doing that. Because that's another thing back to the, you know, the people complaining about Modern Warfare 2019 is that you were not around for Modern Warfare 2 because things were so much worse in terms of things being overpowered and campers. And it's like everything was so overpowered that nothing was overpowered because everything had a counter because of everything was, I mean, sprinting around the corner. Hey, there he is.
There we go.
I fell asleep.
Oh, you fell asleep. Did the idea of playing games with us bore you that much?
No, I was just tired. I was just tired. I had a long morning.
Oof.
Well, we're going to shipment, so this will be over very quickly, and then we will
Right.
back out to the lobby to let you join us.
Well, perfect. I need to redo my classes and all that, so...
Alright, time for the... Where's my shotgun class? There we go.
Team deathmatch. Let's do this.
Oh, pfft.
I just equipped an LMG so I can just spray and pray. Spraying and praying did not work. Oh, that guy was already dead. Okay. Grenade spam! Welcome to COD 4. Grenade spam everywhere. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's something that this game was infamous for. So much grenades. You know, I mean, you have frag grenades coupled with the perk that gives you free of them, and then the not danger close, but it's equivalent where like, yep, it's
then the grenade launcher.
Yeah.
With noob tubes.
Grenade go boom. Oh, already? Well, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, one guy was just camping in a crate. We're reloading, cover me!
Ow.
Oh no, did it get you through the roof?
Apparently. Okay.
Oh no, I just got... Bullets can penetrate thin, weak materials such as plaster sheet... plaster wood and sheet metal. Just learned that firsthand. Chopper down, finally. Ah! Oh, there was a guy standing right on top of me and he just knifed me. Ha! But I blew him up with my grenade that I was cooking.
Enemy helicopter inbound.
Another helicopter!
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, now there's a weird flare effect on the ground for some reason. Oh, it's coming off of someone's skin. Oh, are you kidding me? Someone spawned right in front of me with a shotgun.
Oh man.
Shipment.
Yeah.
You can't get mad at shipment. That's just how it is.
Shipment.
You're
never
taking
changes.
things way too. Yeah, I say you're taking things way too seriously if you get mad at shipments.
Yeah. Oh, that was surprisingly close.
It was 2 kills away.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it's COD 4 or Modern Warfare 2019 or COD World War II or Vanguard or it. Was this in Modern Warfare 2 as well? I don't remember.
I think it was in a DLC pack. It was like the surplus package or something. Because one was called the stimulus package and the other one was called the surplus package. So I think it was in one of those. It was probably the surplus package because surplus as in leftover older map. I bet it was that. All right. Pull all party members out of the game? Yes. Okay.
Whether they like it or not.
Mm-hmm. Alright, invite is going out. Maybe... Oh, now invite to party is... Okay, now it's back. There, okay. Invite is sent out, Daxter.
Ah. Okay.
Alright, so he joined fine. Yeah, when Loka and I got on, we spent like 15 minutes trying to even get in the party together.
Technical difficulties. Oh, I also forgot to bring that up because it's actually like shockingly fitting timing wise is in that we're 11 days away from Call of Duty Next, where they're gonna showcase a lot of Modern Warfare 2 and apparently Warzone 2. So that's gonna be interesting. Wait, actually, are we sure it's 11 days or not Roman numeral 2 days?
Yes. Yeah, because I sent it to Loka, not everyone, Dexter. But they hold on. Let me just copy the link, because they sent out a tweet on the official Call of Duty Twitter account. All right, I'm putting it in the chat now for all of us. And it says that Call of Duty Next it's
oh
okay,
that is
okay. Yeah, no, it's 2 weeks until Call of Duty Next, and so.
Or
But
is
it's
it
the Roman numeral
11 weeks.
Yeah, so and in the replies, the first reply is from Call of Duty themselves, and it's actually saying we mean 2 with the number 2 weeks. So it's so the fact they had to specify that is so funny to me.
This is why you don't swap between Roman numerals and standard numbers.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of COD 4 innovating in a lot of ways, and we're now playing the remastered version, which surprisingly sorta kinda... I shouldn't say innovated, but I'm pretty sure it was the first COD game that started doing these holiday-themed events. And the reason I bring this up is that we're playing on the St. Patrick's Day map they had for that event, and that was such a I shouldn't say weird time.
No,
but
Last Stand. Okay.
It is a little weird. Like, hang on a second. Why did they start with... I mean, well, actually, I suppose with the gaming landscape, it was around that time when multiplayer games were taking more cues from free-to-play games, and they've done things like this for a bit longer.
Well, I mean, this is also Modern Warfare Remastered wasn't the first one to have loot boxes in it, but it was right around that time all of them were starting to do loot boxes, so it wasn't surprising that they would copy that over as well.
Oh, and
was it Black Ops 3 was the first one to have loot boxes?
No, it was Advanced Warfare, so thanks, Sledgehammer.
Right, yeah.
Because remember, Battlefield 4 still has them.
They do. That wasn't random chance though, so I mean it's not exactly the same. But yeah, no, I mean you could still buy upgrades instead of just unlocking them naturally. So still counts.
It's a grenade.
So just to gush for a second, because this is one of those games where you pull up the main menu and you just sit on it for 45 seconds before you actually hit a button.
Yeah.
Because just the atmosphere dripping from the main menu and the music that plays, it's something I really admire about both the original two Modern Warfare games, where they had their bombastic elements to them, but they were not afraid to be atmospheric and a little moody, because of course this game opens up and it's got the gray kind of misty backdrop with the silhouetted soldier and everything, as opposed to even the cover, which had soldier in green, where the actual game menu was gray and it was all misty and stuff, and then of course the music is all moody. And oh man, he had hardline and Last Stand. What a cheap class setup. Gosh, I love this old multiplayer. But I mean, just like all the noises and the sound effects and Foley work done in this game. So good for the time. And now, I mean, there's been advancements since, but I mean, even now, it's like a lot of the stuff still sounds really good.
Yeah, it still holds up very well. Caveat being, as mentioned, of course, that it is very basic in a lot of ways, but but that's more to do with kill streaks and perks and just class system. But then when you have, stuff like atmosphere and music and pacing, I'd absolutely say is one of the strength of this game's campaign, and also especially Modern Warfare 2 has pretty good pacing as well.
Oh, this guy's got Last Stand.
Yep. Modern Warfare 3 as well, although to a lesser degree, because one of my, and it's not necessarily a huge issue, because I do think it fits the tone of that game, and we're like, oh, we're in World War 3 territory, so everything is feeling desperate, and like it's
that's a great way to describe that tone.
Yeah, like the clock is ticking, and while that, I think that game nails it in terms of that. But one complaint I do, and it's not a very large one, is that it is also reflected in those briefing cutscenes, whereas in I'd say this game is especially, where that's kind of the, not the entire downtime, since you have a bunch of quiet time even in the missions, or especially all Gilded Up, that's quiet time the mission.
Yeah.
But
it's quiet time the mission interrupted by don't move. Don't move. Don't, and it's like, and you can feel your bones tense up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. so that's something I do think Modern Warfare 3 is lacking a little bit compared with previous games. Although at the same time, I also, you know, based on the situation in the game and the narrative, it does make sense for it to be more desperate. But it's just one of those things that feels really obvious in hindsight. When I play the campaign for the first time, it's literally throwing you into the action, even though it's not really an action set piece. You're just being, you know, from Soap's point of view, being carried to
having been stabbed an hour earlier.
But there has that, you know, like if things are moving very quickly now, and then immediately goes to the briefing for the Delta Force, and everything is completely desperate, and you know, so that's something that I do kind of miss the more quieter briefings from COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 as well. I mean, they had some very desperate briefing sessions, but I'd say those were, I mean, they weren't the norm, and when they did happen, like it was definitely, based on what's happening right now, it makes sense for things to be, you know, really desperate. I mean that briefing cutscene right when Russia invades the US, and it's like just that first that little bit of like, okay, something's weird's going on, but it doesn't seem to be a big
treated as
thing.
It's treated as a tech problem that needs to be problem solved first, and then it devolves into the, oh shoot, we're being invaded. Because I just loved the little moment of Overlord getting like exasperated, of he's checking everywhere on the West Coast first. And they're saying, we have nothing on station. And then he jumps over to the East Coast and he's like, Sierra Delta, we may have a minor ACS glitch. And you could just, I mean, and that's something that I love about Modern Warfare 2019, is that it brings in the actual cutscenes with actual human beings instead of and then they still do the briefings on top of it. But even with like the voice acting from Modern Warfare 2 and 1 and 3, you can still kind of imagine what they're doing, because I can just imagine Overlord kind of doing the little pinch the bridge of his nose. He's annoyed at the technical glitch, and then he's interrupted by the guy on the other end of the line going, "They're everywhere! We're being invaded! What's going on?" And then he's like, "Oh, this isn't a glitch. We're being invaded. This is not good." It starts as an annoyance and not, something to rush through, and then it becomes, oh wait, this is not good, and it's just the it's going back to the pacing of that cutscene itself. It's like, but the entire time, thanks to the music, you kind of get the sense that something's wrong more than just the technical side of things with the Hans Zimmer / Lauren Balfe score. But then to go back to the desperation angle from Modern Warfare 3, this is maybe potentially quote-unquote spoilery based on what I will be doing here in the next couple weeks. But I feel like that oh my gosh, already, I feel like some of the sense of desperation may have also been informed by the situation at Infinity Ward at the time.
Probably, yeah.
So it's one of the...
Yeah, like they didn't necessarily have time to really take the time they needed. It was just, we gotta, sorta kind of rush it. Like we can't really stay too long because we gotta have a game that needs to be shipped out in X number of months.
And also, we lost a lot of talent in a very short period of time.
That's
so.
Wasn't this around the time the founders of Infinity Ward left to go form Respawn?
Yeah, they left in the middle of the Modern Warfare 3 development cycle, so that's why I think I'm pretty sure a lot of the major story decisions were already made, and they were working on the campaign and stuff. So it's not like that really affected much of what they were going to do. It's just that halfway through the project, a lot of people left. So, but a lot of the decisions had already been made. But still, I mean, I just imagine being there and being one of the people that stayed, and just going, what do we do now? And that was when Sledgehammer had to be brought in to work on like Spec Ops and multiplayer and stuff to pitch in.
Not
I
only
think the
that,
answer
but they
is
had
crunch.
Oh boy, we don't
probably.
use the C word anymore if you don't want to get yelled at on the internet.
Crispy?
No, crunch.
Ooh. Hey, don't say that.
Yes, it's funny we're talking about Sledgehammer, considering that's literally what happened with one of the co-founders, Glenn Schofield, who's now working at Callisto
with
Protocol.
Callisto. Yeah. I'm really disappointed because that looked pretty fun too.
I mean,
I don't think the fact that they're crunching on it is going to make it a bad game, considering crunch has only been discussed in the industry for like the last 2 years, maybe, and 98% of games have probably been crunched on before. I don't think that means it's necessarily going to be bad.
It's just one of those. Oh well,
I feel bad.
That's yeah. I mean, on some level, it might affect the game's quality, but it's not a case of that's super bad. It's just that's unfortunate. But at the same time, I also don't know what the situation looks like there in the studio, since it was just him going, I'm basically working.
Yeah, and that's also why I don't really like the Twitter outrage. It's like, okay, so someone said a thing in like 280 characters max, and now we're going to base an entire opinion off of a very small amount of information, essentially. It's like, yeah that makes sense.
Granted, considering he's the, CEO, I guess, of that studio, and like what he says and does most definitely sets the tone and kind of the kind of working culture. But at the same time, we only have that one tweet to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's good that maybe not the whole Twitter outrage, but definitely we kind of have to talk about this. Although there has been a discussion for the past couple of years, but it does at the very least seem to be helping somewhat. Whoa, that was a little... How did that body get up there?
Oh wow! Talk about being hidden.
Enemy UAV is airborne.
Alright, he's dead now, but what a sneaky little spot. I've never known about this spot before.
Oh, that's a shotgun.
Enemy UAV is airborne.
Whoa. Should have checked that corner before rushing in.
Flashbang through the door, son.
So Loka, do we want to bring up since we've been talking about Modern Warfare 3 and the remaster of this game at the same, it's like, do we want to go ahead and bring up the
Sure.
thing?
Yeah. I don't really have like a set topics of discussion.
Okay.
So
and I'm sure we'll wind back around to this eventually, considering we're playing it. It's like, because I mean, do we really have many negatives to say about this game other than, well, it's a little primitive compared to something we've got now, but this is the basis for a lot of what we have now. So it's like, that's like as far as...
I wouldn't call that a negative if it aged poorly.
Exactly.
I don't think it has.
Yeah, it's aged very, very well. So yeah, we were discussing that one before you got here. So if that's the closest thing we have to a negative, then
nice.
We're in a really good state with this.
Nice.
So basically,
it would be kind of it would sort of kind of be like to say, oh man, Alien is such a bad movie because the special
it's old.
Because it's old and the special effects are old and dated and don't hold up. So it's it's from the 70s. You can only go as far.
And
Yeah.
even watching it recently, I know this is off topic, but I felt like it was still pretty terrifying. But
Yeah,
you guys have a
a lot
topic of discussion.
a lot of 70s and 80s stuff. I feel that probably has aged better than even some more recent stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
Some sort of
Modern
there's
Warfare
some kind of
3.
sci-fi franchise that started right in the 70s.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say that I think a lot of Star Wars, because it's like the special editions exist, but they didn't, and they did some work on it, but they still kept a lot of they tweaked a lot of the original visual effects. They didn't completely do major overhauls, so a lot of Star Wars stuff still holds up pretty well as compared to it's there's stuff from the early 2000s that definitely looked good then that doesn't really look great now. She-Hulk is airing right now, and so I've been seeing a lot of people posting old clips of the Incredible Hulk from 2008. Hulk doesn't, he looks okay, but the CG in that movie I don't really think is held up that well. It's from 2008, but so anyway, but speaking of things from around that time period, this has happened in the last day or so, is that the rumor mill is gearing up again. So here we go. It's you can kind of predict a cycle with these things. Is that there is a reliable COD leaker who says the Modern Warfare 3 remaster that Activision has previously claimed does not exist does exist and has been done for a while, and they're just waiting on a good time to release it, which is something I've been saying for a year and a half at this point.
What a surprise!
Yeah, because it's basically the same thing that happened with the Modern Warfare 2 remaster as well. So,
Whee! Okay.
This totally doesn't exist. No, it definitely doesn't exist. Q, a few weeks or months later, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we made this. We're announcing that we made this."
Please pay $40 for it.
Any details on what it'll include other than a glorified weapon skin for Modern 2 Warfare?
No, all we know is, according to the leakers, that it exists and they're waiting for a time to release it. So that's kind of what I wanted to ask. It's how much do you want? Oh wow, I can't believe I did that. I just randomly fired at a guy through the bazaar and I managed to get a headshot on him. I think he must have gone prone to avoid my shots, and he accidentally sat down in the middle of my gunfire. That's great. Anyway, so that's kind of what are you guys hoping to see in it? Because if they follow the Modern Warfare 2 remaster route with this, where they put it out after this to kind of capitalize on the success of the new Modern Warfare game that's out around the same time, it's because that's the reason they never included multiplayer in Modern Warfare 2 campaign remaster, and it was just a campaign remaster, is that they didn't want to divide their audience with Modern Warfare 2019, because that seemed kind of silly.
Case
but
in
it
point,
is why
when this remaster released, there was definitely a divide.
Sorry.
No,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Granted, it was a bad game.
That released with this, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is that, and that's why they probably did release the multiplayer with this, and not alongside Infinite Warfare. Is that I was going to be a little more diplomatic and say it's there was an experience for both types of COD players, instead of just going well, the other one was a bad game. But yeah. It's that is definitely accurate.
Also, this might be an incredibly hot take. But I think you can release a remaster of Modern Warfare 2 with just the campaign, and that works. Whereas I would argue you couldn't really do that with COD 4 because of how, and as we've kind of been saying, where as basic as it is, it definitely set the benchmark at the time. The other games we're gonna get to later on in this little road to Modern Warfare 2 has been affected and inspired by some degree of this game.
Oh!
And not just modern military games. I mean, like there was that crazy period of time where every game had a multiplayer mode, and basically all of them just took the concept of COD 4. You know, oh, you can just, you know, you pick perks and have your own classes and whatnot. I mean, like Uncharted is a great example of that.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider 2013
Uncharted is basically
did the
Call of
same.
Duty in third person.
Yeah, exactly. Tomb Raider 2013 did that. Bioshock 2.
Oh, I totally forgot
think.
that had a... Yeah.
Yeah, Bioshock
I know it had
2
multiplayer.
did it.
I got
Bioshock 2
more
had like a
bullets
story to
and
go
that
along with
didn't
its
help.
multiplayer. Pseudo story to go along with its multiplayer.
It's like if you pick a like a game with a multiplayer component, like from the time of 2008 through 2012 or 13, like they're all gonna have the COD 4 system essentially.
Yep.
Save for, I'd argue, Battlefield. In any multiplayer-focused games, they're probably going to take their own spin, so to speak. Okay, I didn't know there was someone there.
Not
But
to the
even then,
same...
Battlefield started doing loadouts and stuff, which COD 4 started with. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
really?
I mean,
Yeah.
I thought they had alternate weapons. Like
I
for
think
each
there may have
class.
been some alternate weapons, but I mean, to the class customization degree that we see now in Battlefield, definitely inspired by COD 4.
Yeah, and even in Battlefield 3 and honestly even Bad Company 2, where you had the 4 classes, but you could also switch out like a few perks or something like that, and there was a much more degree on customizability going like from that point. Since I mean, if you go with previous Battlefield games, at best you could customize what weapon you used. Like Battlefield 2 and well, actually 2142 has some sort of couple of things you could unlock, but
But not like attachments.
Yeah, no. And because Modern Warfare 2, yeah, it builds on top of all that. But at the end of the day, if you want to go where it all began, it really is this game you have to go to, and that's why my argument goes for. I feel like just based on how influential this game would be, it would make no sense to not remaster the multiplayer. Whereas I do feel that you can get away with that with other COD remasters, if like case in point Modern Warfare 2 and now Modern Warfare 3, and potentially say they remastered the campaign for Black Ops 1 or something like that. Like I would also...
I think World at War is a good candidate.
Yeah, that too.
Maybe not right now in this moment, considering Vanguard and the way that's been received, but in another 2 or 3 years, I think World at War could definitely deserve remaster.
Yeah.
Deserve or be threatened with?
COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 both were given such a great remaster treatment that I think it would definitely be a deserve and not a be threatened with. If these were cash grabs that weren't great, then I would say then it's whatever. But I mean, these two were done so lovingly, and presumably Modern Warfare 3, if that is, you know, if the leaker is to be believed and it's real, which I mean, it's like Loka and I've been saying this ever since Modern Warfare 2 came in. So, I mean, they have to do Modern Warfare 3 because it'd be weird to stop at 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It's like you got to finish the trilogy. That'd be super weird if you didn't. So
maybe even make a 4th game.
yeah, they actually make a Modern Warfare 4 based on the original timeline to go at the same time. It's like, that would be bonkers. But so anyway,
that wouldn't happen.
So it's like, I don't think that they're going to do the multiplayer for Modern Warfare 3 because if they do the repeat of what they did in Modern Warfare 2, is that it comes out, you know, on top of the success of the new Modern Warfare, then it's definitely a, you know, it's an additive thing. So here's this old campaign lovingly remastered for you to go back and be nostalgic for, and then like you get a skin, like maybe there'll be a Sandman skin or something for Modern 2 Warfare and Warzone. But when it comes to that, it's like I hope they don't. Well, I don't think they'll do the multiplayer, and I don't think they really need to do the multiplayer. I do hope they include Spec Ops.
That would be nice this time around.
Because while I'm happy with what we got from Modern Warfare 2 Remaster and just being the campaign, that was fine. I would have really loved if they had put Spec Ops on there as an additive thing to just extend playtime a little bit, especially since so much of Spec Ops from Modern Warfare 2 was based on the campaign maps and not the multiplayer maps. So I mean, they're all working with the same geometry and everything already. Anyway, they just have to copy over the same code for mission parameters and stuff like that. It wouldn't have been. And also, it even included stuff from COD 4, so they already had that stuff to work with as well. So the fact that they didn't do Spec Ops is really kind of a, oh, why didn't you do this? But they also had Spec Ops from Modern Warfare 2019 that they were trying to get people to play, but it's so stupidly hard.
Yeah.
That no one wanted to. It's like, remember the very few times we tried to do that and how frustrated we got?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to remind us of how much better it used to be.
Yeah. But especially considering survival mode in Modern Warfare 3 and on those
and
maps
chaos,
specifically,
and mayhem chaos.
Yeah, the chaos mode. It's like all of that would be so good to have as an additive thing on top of the campaign. I feel like that's a 50-50. I feel like it's a 50-50. They could do that, maybe not. So, but I do hope that they. It's like, I mean, if it's just a camp. Oh, 2 claymores. There were 2 claymores. If they just do the campaign, I will be perfectly satisfied with that. But I will definitely not complain if they add in Spec Ops mode to go with. So what about you? What about you guys? Well, I mean, what do you? Well, first of all, it's like, is that something that would interest you to get a remaster of the Modern Warfare 3 campaign?
I'd pick it up for free. Okay, so I guess I should explain. I've got it on PC with all the DLC. I paid $40 for it. That's way too much for that game. I
paid $40 for it without the DLC.
Ooh.
I'm starting to feel a little ripped off now.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, this game also has paid DLC. The one that we're playing right now.
You must have gotten it on sale. You must have gotten it in
yeah,
a
I got it on
sale or something.
I did.
Okay, that explains it. That's different then. It's like, because like if that's how it used to be, and then they changed that, you know, in somewhat recently or something, then I would have been a little more.
No, I always try to complete the games that I own. Like for example, Black Ops 2 is still $60.
Oh wow. Yeah, they're greedy over there at Activision.
Yep.
And apparently the servers aren't even good.
No, that's not a surprise. It's a 10-plus-year-old game at this point.
Yeah.
It's actually a 10-year-old game. It's a 2012 game, so.
It's about to be 10.
But like Modern Warfare 2 the servers are fine.
Oh really?
They're actually really fun online because people like hack them, so to speak. Like I was in a server that it was unlimited noob tube, and moon gravity.
See, I would not call that fine. I would call that a hacker's wonderland.
But everyone had it. It wasn't just relegated to one person.
No, I understand that, but still, I mean, that opens you up for so many potential, especially on. It's like I discovered that the servers were that way on PS3 several years back, and I haven't played it since. So, but I mean, you know, it's one thing on your PS3 to discover it being that way, but if that was on PC, I would not even touch it. It's like, okay, no, I don't want some guy from Dubai hacking into my computer.
Oh wait, that's one of ours. Yeah, I'm a realist. I don't think we'd be... what I'd want is Modern Warfare 3 in its entirety brought over for the next generation. Or for a new generation. But I know that wouldn't happen. I think that's impossible. At least from an Activision point of view.
Yeah.
But I would, at the very least, be okay for a $30 with Spec Ops complete. Maybe if they even they wouldn't, but bring in Modern Warfare 2's Spec Ops because I kind of prefer that over Modern Warfare 3's.
They both have their pros and cons to me because I think 3's
is more mission structured, but is incredibly hard. Like,
yeah, no, there's some pretty difficult missions. So Modern Warfare 2's of course has a couple different. So like I said, they have their pros and cons. Some of the missions are better on 2, some of the missions are better on 3, but 3 also has a little bit more to do with survival and chaos compared to 2. So I mean, yeah, it's. I feel like the thing that's going to be the deciding factor is if they do Spec Ops or not is what they put into it because the survival stuff is all on multiplayer maps, so that means they would also have to remaster the maps on top of on top of where, like I said, with the regular Spec Ops stuff, most of that stuff is all on the campaign layouts, so they wouldn't have to. They would just have to bring in the mission parameters, like I said. So I mean, that's not necessarily that much extra work. Where it's like, okay, well now we got to take these 12 multiplayer maps and remaster these as well. So if you were going to do that, then you might as well do the multiplayer at the same time. I know I don't necessarily agree with that, but I know for a fact some people would go that route where it's like, well, they worked on the maps, why don't we get multiplayer too? It's like, well, I mean, they want us to play Modern Warfare 2 2022, so it's like that's why we don't get it. But this is a thought. There's a guy right there.
Oh,
but this is a thought I had, like yesterday when I was thinking about this stuff maybe about the remaster for 3. Maybe being real, according to this leaker, I'm like, well, I'm not surprised. And then I was thinking about the long ago rumor of Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer going to be added in for free to people that already owned the campaign remaster, or they would have to pay. It's like there was a rumor floating around in a couple different permutations around a little after it came out back in the day, in 2020. And so
honestly, that would have been perfect for Black Ops 4.
I mean, if
you think about it, you have basically 2 stinker years, each the one after worse than the last, and then a good game. Depending on how good this next COD game comes out. So why not throw in a remastered multiplayer experience along with it?
Well, Black Ops 4 was 2018.
Sorry, I meant Black Ops Cold War.
Oh, Cold War. Well, I don't see. The 3 of us, I think, consider that to be as well. I mean, you and I probably do. I don't know, but I think Loka likes Cold War better than we do.
It's
but
okay.
It's okay.
It is
but I don't
serviceable, but
it's probably the best Treyarch has done in a while, but I also feel like that doesn't really say much either, considering the recent output. It's serviceable.
Wait, they had output?
Well, I suppose that's also questionable. Q
But
angry,
I don't know
Treyarch
if so.
fanboys entering chat.
So anyway, yeah. So anyway, I think we maybe consider that to be a down year. I mean, I don't care who you are. I mean, just
How did
based
the
on the
sales
game
figures
engine
track?
and the I don't know, I haven't checked, but I mean,
Not as good
just
as Modern
based
Warfare
on
19. That's
yeah.
about as much I know.
So, I mean, just based on the way it played compared to Modern Warfare 2019 and the engine and everything, it was definitely a downgrade because it was running on the Black Ops 4 engine. So, I mean, it was definitely a downgrade year, but I don't know if Activision would consider that to be a down year overall, the way that, say, Infinite Warfare was definitely a down year without remaster of COD 4 to go with it. Because, I mean, I don't think anyone really played Infinite Warfare at all. It was...
I mean there were more people playing Black Ops 3 at the time.
Yeah, so Infinite Warfare was definitely a down year, and the only thing that really saved COD that year was Modern Warfare Remastered. We've had that conversation before.
Yeah.
But,
I still don't want to give Infinite Warfare a shot, but the prices are still way too outrageous.
But I was thinking about that, that rumor about them maybe releasing, because I mean, there were some people that were claiming that it was done, and like maybe they had the option to just put it in, and they just never have. But then take that nugget and think about it, because now there's a new rumor that's suggesting that all the Modern Warfare 2 maps the original Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps are going to be put into Modern Warfare 2 2022 in its second year of content in 2023 I guess it'd be 20. Well, no, would it be 23 or 24, Loka? Because if the other rumor, this is just such a rumor mill right now. It's like, so if the rumor of Call of Duty not having a title released in 2023 is true, and they're waiting until the fall of 2024 to release a new one, then that would mean that the M2W's content release would be 22 to 23, and then 23 to 24. So its second year of content would be late 2022 to 2024. Yeah, that's so. Yeah, so that would be its second year of content. So the rumor right now is that they're going to put all of those old Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps in Modern 2 Warfare for its second year of content in 2023. I'm not sure I necessarily buy that yet, because that's such a long time away that, so you can say anything and it'd be totally false, but no one's going to really say that, oh, you made this up and totally lied about it, because it's so far away. So it's kind of a safe thing to lie about, because it's so far away based on the parameters of the rumor. However, if that is true, then are they going to... them rebuild. I'm sure that they're going to be somewhat rebuilt for the ground up. A couple of them they probably won't have to do too much work on, because a couple of them were put into Modern Warfare 2019. But if shipment or not shipment,
shipment was this game.
Yeah, exactly. I meant to say scrapyard.
Oh, that's right. I thought it came back in spirit, not in actuality.
No, it did come back in actuality, because it was in the Warzone map in Spirit. It was a section. Then they did end up putting it in full in 2019. So, but
color me impressed.
But so now that I'm thinking about all this, and I thought about this morning when it's like, okay, so plugging some of these rumors together, if they're all true, it's like maybe at one point they were going to put the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer in there, but they just decided not to. Then is maybe the decision to put the Modern Warfare 2 maps in Modern Warfare 2, is that being made because they already did a bunch of work on it for the remaster, and they've got a lot of it's like they're going to have to migrate it over to the new engine and everything, but a whole lot of the work is probably already done, I would imagine. To where it's like, they've remapped it into a new engine once already, so it's going to maybe be easier to do it again or something like that. So if they do that, then I don't know. Maybe they could add in. Then maybe that frees them up to do. I don't know. I just find a lot of these rumors circulating right now to be very interesting because they could potentially line up in some fashion, slightly. So I don't know. What do you think about that, Loka? Is what I'm saying making sense at all, or am I rambling at this point?
You lost me at Modern 2 Warfare.
Yeah,
which that's not helping things either.
I'm halfway tempted to just say yes.
Like, I think I get what you're saying, but as a Nintendo guy,
no.
Rumors are like really weird. Okay, so here's the newest rumor for us. They're all hopelessly optimistic. So we have the next Nintendo Direct is going to be all Zelda theme, and all like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker are going to make their way over to the Switch again.
Oh yeah, stuff like that. I hardly.
No.
That's pie in the sky stuff.
There's a Metroid Prime trilogy HD remastering in the works. Again, I highly doubt that because Metroid Prime 4 is in development hell right now. I think it's just a lot of hopeful thinking. And it doesn't make sense for Nintendo, who doesn't like to give us what we want. And we finally won a match. So, yeah, I always take rumors with the biggest pinch of salt I can get.
Oh yeah, same. Because I never really believed they were going to put the multiplayer in Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered to begin with. Because it's the fact that they released it and called it the campaign remaster alongside 2019, and it's like all of that just seems like you're going to split your player base because there's going to be a bunch of people that want to go back and be all nostalgic with the original Modern Warfare 2, and it's like I never really bought all of that. It's possible that they could have at one point been working on it. I feel like that is definitely a very good possibility when they first started that, and then they decided, no, we're not going to do this. So it's like there's some very, very incomplete rudimentary version of it out there. Like maybe they have like a tiny bit of terminal or something built, and that's it. But
okay, Terminal has to come back. I'm sorry.
I'm honestly surprised Terminal was not one of the points of interest on Verdansk, since there was an airport. It's like, come on, that was so easy.
It was just airport, not Verdansk, not specifically the Terminal airport. It was just airport. Also, I love this map.
Oh yeah, no, this is a great map.
Yeah.
I used to play with this with my friend, and it was usually always this map. It was a terrible friendship, but for some reason I remember this map fondly.
To make matters worse in with regards to Terminal is that around the time of Modern Warfare 2019 they actually released it on COD Mobile. So you can play it on COD Mobile, but not Modern Warfare 2019.
Well, COD Mobile, I believe, is the best-selling COD game, and probably their greatest source of revenue.
Free.
Because, yeah, first off, it's free. Secondly, grenade. But I think because they can tap into that Southeast Asian, Central Asian market, which has a stupidly high number of people, especially with mobile phones. Like,
oh come on.
See, I think people hatch down there. I don't think they're born the normal way. There's too many of them for that. Well, this guy's lagging all over the place.
Going back to that rumor of Modern Warfare 2 maps being put in Modern 2 Warfare for year 2, I can actually see that actually being the thing, assuming that rumor about COD possibly taking a year off in terms of releasing games next year. And and this is where I think things get really interesting in that they did say fairly recently too that they had a premium release for COD slated for next year. Also, why am I going with a sniper at close range? Oh boy. So that, oh, okay. I guess that puts that off-year rumor and Modern Warfare 2, Modern 2 Warfare getting a year 2 of
I think it might
content.
get a year 2.
But here's where things get a little more interesting about fairly reliable leakers is that Jason Schreier tweeted out that there are releasing something, but it may not necessarily be a wholly new game. It might actually just be for Modern 2 Warfare in some capacity. However, I don't really know what that would be, since I mean we have this rumor about that all those maps coming in, but is that something they would make us pay for, since maps are free these days?
Right.
So that would seem like a really weird thing to do. But at the same time, I'd also say that this kind of rumor is the equivalent of Zombies Chronicles for Black Ops 3 that they released during Infinite Warfare's lifespan. There was I remember there was this talk about DLC 5. And speaking of rumors, like apparently there are also rumors saying that there is a Zombie Chronicles 2 sitting somewhere that they're just waiting on a good time to release. So I don't know. I could see that being that, like, they've done that sorta as kind of a backup plan in case they decide to take a year off, and if they don't take a year off, well, that's more content that they can release. Yeah. Sorta kind of similar to what we've gotten. I mean, and to be and to be fair, we have gotten technically year 2 content for both Modern Warfare 19 and Cold War, in terms of like a map or two. And
it hasn't been a whole lot, but it's still something.
Yeah, like and what's really interesting about all the kind of year 2 Modern Warfare 19 content is that it was 2 operators, Soap and some other random guy. You had 3 weapons, and there was 1 6v6 map and 1 or 2 gunfight maps. And that would essentially line up with a season's worth of content, and that I remember that being
they just spread it out longer.
Yeah, like I remember a thing where, like, oh, are we getting like a season 7 for Modern Warfare? And then that didn't happen because Cold War. But
they spread it out.
There's a guy by the bus.
So I do wonder if maybe they were like working on a season 7, since they like seasons are planned about 6 months in advance, if I've understood things correctly. So it could be a case of, okay, let's start work on a supposed season 7 in case Cold War has to be delayed and they have to take an off year. And I suppose that could be the same thing with Cold War getting year 2 content in the very case they would decide to, okay, actually no, we can't release Vanguard now, we have to wait with it, so that there would essentially be, you know, oh, here's more.
I'm sorry,
content.
The idea of Activision delaying a COD game is hilarious.
I mean, I would say yes, but at the same time, with the situation that the COD studios were at that time, where it was just a ball rush, really. I mean, we were Cold War wasn't even supposed to be a Treyarch game. It was Raven and Sledgehammer.
Yeah,
and then
it
they
kind
got
of mutated into Black Ops.
And then they got taken off from the project for reasons we still don't know. And I really love to know what made. I don't.
I mean, it seems like that Sledgehammer wanted to do things that conflicted with the campaign direction. Sledgehammer or Raven wanted to go in, and they were. I mean, someone was definitely in the wrong, and considering Raven got to keep making the Cold War campaign and Sledgehammer was removed entirely, I have to say that Sledgehammer was the one in the wrong.
Ow.
Just
all I really
because they were taken off the project. If they were in the right, then I would think that Raven would be the one taken off the project instead of it being the way it turned out.
It could also, I suppose, have been a I don't know.
Cleared the crow's nest.
Everything that everything. All that really seems to be known is that there was some sort of heated major disagreements on what that game was gonna be. The only theory I can really the only theory I've really had, and that kind of goes back to when Sledgehammer had to be brought on.
Please don't look at the kill cam.
On Modern Warfare 3. Sorry, we just did. We all saw that.
Time to go into the shame closet.
Since at the time when they were pulled on to Modern Warfare 3, they were working on a third-person spin-off set in Vietnam, and the only theory I can really have is that maybe they wanted to do a more Vietnam-focused game, because I wouldn't be surprised if the Vietnam segments from Cold War were recycled from that, because they do feel a little out of place compared with the rest of the game, where you have all the 80s aesthetic, and then you have now we're back in Nam somehow. I don't know. It's just a theory. A game theory.
Thanks for watching. Wait, so is the stream over now?
No, not yet.
Okay. That's good.
But
So
because of this situation, around that time, and then with Vanguard essentially being as quickly put together as possible, essentially, that would definitely be a time where, if I was Activision, I would definitely seriously consider delaying both those games. Which they did.
It's probably the closest they've ever been to considering a delay like that, if I had to guess.
And I wouldn't be surprised if those options were on the table at the very least. Hence them having year 2 content for both those games, essentially. But considering where we are at now, I'm like, I don't know if I don't know if I really believe them deciding to delay another game, because now I guess the development cycles would be back to what it's supposed to be with that 3-year span. But at the same time, I just don't know. Ow. Noob-tubed.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting point to look back at in COD's history in another 3 or 4 years, where we can now look back at 2013 through say 2018 and go, this was. I would kind of a little bit, because it was a very almost experimental era, because that's when we got the introduction of the advanced movement, and they ran that into the ground pretty quickly. it was after. It was after the original Call of Duty leadership left. Because Jason West and Vince Zampella went back to EA after their falling out with the Activision leadership. So I mean, they were the ones that were really moving the brand forward and stuff because they were the creators of the original game. So everyone followed suit. Even Treyarch at the time was following what they were doing with World at War and then Black Ops, and they were just kind of putting their own spin on it. And then Treyarch kind of became the lead for a little while, and that, I think, is where we get some of the kind of more negative, just in my opinion, the negative aspects of COD, because they went a little more less grounded and bombastic. Because I mean, they were the ones that introduced zombies, for Pete's sake, and it's like that is so, I think, far removed from what Call of Duty is supposed to be, but it became what Call of Duty was for so long, to where when Modern Warfare 2019 comes out and it's a little slower and more methodical and stuff, everyone's going, oh, it's too slow. And meanwhile, Loka, you and I are out here going, oh no, this is a return to form. This is what we like. This is what we've been missing. But then there's all these new people going, oh, this is way too slow. And where are the zombies? It's like, oh man, how
everyone's
far
camping.
How much this franchise has changed that to where people are missing zombies. It's like it's very much a very different.
It's because the people who were probably playing that probably grew up on Black Ops and World at War.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Okay. Then yes, you were correct. Nice, excellent observation, Dorothy Ann.
Oh, I just spawned exactly where I died. That's nice. Thanks.
And what I was trying to quip earlier is that it would be a cold day in hell whenever Sledgehammer somehow leads the charge on Call of Duty.
Oh gosh, yes. If I thought Treyarch used to be copycats, it's like, oh gosh, Sledgehammer really is copycat. It's like the one thing they kind of did original was the advanced movement, but even then, I don't know if that was really their decision or if they were just like troubleshooting things for Treyarch. I honestly don't know.
That's not true. They also introduced pedophilia to the campaign.
I'm sorry.
Okay, what?
Oh, okay.
Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
Okay.
I was like, hang on a second, what?
Where are you getting that? Yeah, okay.
That's what you're referring to. I mean, hey, you
out of context quotes with Dexter.
I mean, I remember a mutual on Twitter around the time when those news were hitting, like, oh, like, am I still allowed to like Advanced Warfare, the campaign? And I was kind of like, I mean, you do get to drop Kevin Spacey from that
alleged
skyscraper, so.
If anything, that should make it the best COD of all time, really.
You get to kill
Justice
Kevin
served.
Spacey.
That should be the title for Advanced Warfare from now on. Call of Duty, the one where you get to kill Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey freaking dies.
Okay, so I'm not really keeping it a secret, so I guess I can go ahead and say this, not to pimp myself on your stream, Loka, but I am working on.
Can I be your hoe in that case?
Oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole. But except to say, I am not gonna touch it with a 10-foot pole. But I am working on a retrospective series on all the Infinity Ward COD campaigns in the lead up to Modern Warfare, and those will be coming out later this month in the lead up. So I'm going through Modern Warfare 3 right now. The Modern Warfare 1 and 2 videos are done, but I've been enjoying it so far that I've kind of been thinking to myself, like, do I want to go through like all of the campaigns and do like a Infinity Ward series, a Treyarch series, a Sledgehammer series? But then I'm
gosh.
like, I don't hate myself. Nah, I don't think I hate myself that much. I think I'll probably just stick with Infinity Ward. But if I were to do that, then I feel like that's the title of the Advanced Warfare video, Call of Duty, the one where you get to kill Kevin Spacey. That's the name of that video now, if it ever exists.
Oh wait, no, it was Infinite Warfare, right? That was.
No, that was. Kit Harington you got to kill.
But Daxter is correct in that Infinity Ward did develop Infinite Warfare, yes. That was really what he was.
Yeah, that's what I was
wondering.
trying to get at. Not who did you kill in that game, other than...
Yeah. But you did get to kill Kit Harington.
Okay, I mean, that's got to count for something.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's going to be such a interesting point to bring forward, is that how lost Infinity Ward was at that point, because they got this great big name star and he has like 5 minutes of screen time. Meanwhile, Sledgehammer was doing better than them in that regard, because Kevin Spacey, boy, does he have screen time in that game.
Oh yeah.
He's like in every mission after the introduction, in some capacity.
Yep.
So yeah, they had Kevin Spacey, and boy, did they use Kevin Spacey.
I bought the Kevin Spacey. I will use the Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. It's like, all right, we have him for this much time. We are going to milk him for everything he's worth. And then a couple years later, it's like, well, that blew up in our face.
Mistake.
But, I mean, yeah, not their fault. I mean, he was one of the biggest actors at the time.
That was a tremendous mistake on our parts.
Yeah, it would be like if next year's Call of Duty, if there is a next year's Call of Duty, if they hired one of the Stranger Things kids. Which I really wouldn't put it past them at this point. So
that way they can have edgy child soldiers.
Yes.
No. You're thinking about this the wrong way. If the Stranger Kids are added to the next COD game,
the Stranger Kids,
the Stranger Things kids, it's gonna be through a crossover bundle.
No, yeah, no, you're totally right. It's like now you can play as
Wait,
are they
11.
already
In Dead by Daylight?
Oh, are they? I have honestly no idea.
There was that. Yeah.
I don't remember. I want to say that they are, but
Of course. I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
I'm surprised they haven't crossed paths in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Well, it's only a matter of time.
I'm
You've
glad that they
spoken into existence now.
Yeah, there was an article that came out recently saying, like, no, the metaverse isn't whatever Zuckerberg's dreaming of.
It's Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Which, that scares me.
I mean, that's what I was thinking immediately whenever Zuckerberg's like, hey, it's the metaverse and blah, blah, blah. I was like, isn't that just Fortnite? I mean, you're not in VR in Fortnite, but I mean, it's basically Fortnite.
Give it a few years.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it's already in development, so.
Fortnite VR.
And then dumb kids that don't know what it is call it Fortnite Ver. Hey, you want to jump on Fortnite Ver?
I don't know, I feel like all this metaverse stuff is just a rip-off of PlayStation Home.
Yes!
Oh!
Well, actually, there's some indication to maybe suggest that they are making a new version of PlayStation Home.
Oh gosh.
That would be kind of nice.
For VR, specifically.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see that work, and also being incredibly cursed.
Probably.
I think the only thing that Fortnite has brought to the universe is seeing Zavala do the default dance.
Oh gosh.
Because they recently added Destiny 2 characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
The memes have been great, at least in my opinion, and they added in a multiplayer map for a limited time mode.
Oh.
That felt super off and terrible.
Wait, hold on. Did they add in a multiplayer map into Destiny based on Fortnite, or they introduced a map into Fortnite based on Destiny?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
The other way around.
It's like I wouldn't put it past Bungie to do that.
Yeah, no, it was Javelin 4. Although we did spy what we believe to be the battle bus in the recent season.
Oh gosh.
Spider has it.
I mean, that would make sense. That makes sense. That guy.
Yeah. But oh, dude, the new season's so fun. You got to be a pirate. It's so fun. I get a blunderbuss.
Bungie, when they're developing, they're just blasting that Lazy Town pirate song
Yeah.
in the hallways. Do what you want because a pirate is free. You are. It's like people are ready to jump out the office windows by the time they're done with the season. It's like, okay, it was funny for the first 5 minutes. Now it's not.
Someone did that, but it was Muppets Treasure Island.
Such an underrated movie.
Not not that one. But it's so much fun. Oh, Winter Crash.
Oh, Winter Crash.
This
okay.
season
Not
to
what
be jolly.
Not what I was expecting.
I guess I gotta take back what I said about the St. Patrick's Day map. I mean, this is technically the first.
Yeah, because it's from 2007. They introduced it. Yeah, all the way back then. So yeah. It's going to be weird playing this map without the doors and the one added area, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, wait, where's this chunk of map? There's something missing. Oh, I'm lagging all over the place. Or is it lagging? Whoa.
That was
Grenades
remarkable
everywhere!
luck.
Grenades everywhere!
Whoa.
How many
Presents!
how many did they kill? 3?
There is just grenades. I was blinded by a flashbang and I just saw the press R1 to toss back grenade button pop up and I just kept hitting it to toss back grenades.
Got him. I like that we explode into presents. That's a good touch.
I'm kind of surprised they never put this in Modern Warfare 2019.
Yeah, why couldn't we have gotten this instead of that crappy snow fight mode?
Oh, that was so bad. It just evolved into punching fights. That was that was kind of, I think that was like the equivalent of Modern Warfare 2019 equivalent of this recent Warzone event that they did with the heroes versus villains, where we played it like once or twice. We're like, well, that was dumb, and moved on back to the regular thing.
I'm glad that they brought in noted Cars villain Khalid al-Assad as a playable skin character person.
I should have him unlocked by now.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you had to purchase him. Like
Well, I mean, you get him if you pre-order Modern 2 Warfare.
Ah.
So I think you could purchase him separately, or if you pre-order Modern 2 Warfare, you get him for free. Which they almost made an oopsie because they released a trailer that said he came with like the Locker edition or whatever it's called, the Vault edition or whatever it is, and it was like, well, hold on, we thought it was called we thought it was going to be available if you pre-ordered any version of the game, and then they had to clarify after like a couple hours, and everyone calmed down.
Why is it called the Vault Edition instead of the Care Package Edition or the UAV Edition?
Oh, there's only 2 of them.
Oh,
I just not noticed that.
Then how?
Well, that's okay.
Cool, I guess.
Just as many as there are editions of Modern 2 Warfare. It's the Standard and Vault Edition.
Yep. And the Standard is also the cross-gen bundle.
Yep.
Which is
great. Now, if we ever have an issue playing crossplay, or if we ever have an issue with crossplay or whatever cross-gen, then I can go play it on my PS4, unlike a certain game.
Yep.
Hey, you did that to yourself.
I know. I wanted a PS5 game, okay?
But Gran Turismo was coming out like 2 weeks later, and you got that too.
No, it wasn't. No, it was coming out like months later.
Oh, was it that long? I thought it was pretty.
Remember
close.
when we? No, it was like March, April.
Oh well, there was something that was coming out. That's right. There was something else that was coming out pretty close afterward. That's like, why didn't you just get that? If you wanted to buy an actual case, but oh well.
I don't remember what it was. What it could have been. I need to look at my games because it was Black Friday. I picked up Alan Wake Remastered, Tales of Arise, and Shin Megami Tensei 5. It was a pretty good haul that year.
But the thing is, though, is that them giving away the cross-gen bundle isn't really going to be that big a deal because I'm pretty sure all the servers are going to be cross-gen anyway, so...
Yep.
But it's still nice that they did that for those that don't have the new console. So now it's like, I mean, you got to pay $10 extra. You got it. You got the version now. So
How about just for free? I mean,
well,
I know
considering that the gaming prices are kind of going up in general, I mean, you kind of are getting both versions for free in a certain way if you really want to look at it that way.
Enemy UAV is airborne.
Okay. That's a great story.
Ah.
Enemy UAV is airborne.
Ah.
Did I killed the guy by hitting him with the grenade before it blew up.
Yep, direct impact with the noob tube. I love it.
No, a hand grenade.
Oh, a hand grenade.
Oh, even
okay.
better.
Yeah. I call that the sticks and stones method.
We've lost the lead.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Enemy UAV is airborne.
Oh. That's how I died.
Okay, so here's something I just thought about when it comes to this game and how Call of Duty evolves and stuff. Because it just happened to me. Death streaks.
Oh yeah.
Oh. This game doesn't have
like,
any, does it?
No, that
oh
was
yeah, it
Modern
does
Warfare 2.
martyrdom.
Oh, that's not a death streak. That's just a. It's not a death streak. It became a death streak in 2.
Okay, well, I mean, there's still it was still introduced. They may have called it and changed the name, but I mean, Last Stand is in this game. Because there's Last Stand, Martyrdom. I mean, they're in here.
Yeah, they've just changed not kind of either where they are or their functionality altogether.
Right, but I mean, they still function the same. I don't think Painkiller's in this game. I think that was Modern Warfare 2. But
Yeah.
I mean, the Martyrdom and Last Stand. Those are the two big ones, and those are in here. They're just separate perks instead of being death streaks. But still, it's like, gosh, if that's one of those things where if those were Modern Warfare 2019, people would have been incensed. It's like, oh, this is so horrible. It's like, I want to go back to the days of Modern Warfare 2 when these things didn't exist. It's like, what are you talking about? These things totally existed back then.
I kind of want to see a community have a breakdown, mentally or physically.
Enemy UAV is airborne.
I mean, you know that there's gonna be something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well, I
just
mean, there's
look at
already
Modern
enough
Warfare
people out
19.
there where it seems like they even think that Modern Warfare,
UAV is online.
Modern 2 Warfare is going to be just another remaster of Modern Warfare 2, but with better graphics.
Is online.
Isn't
'Cause
that
I-
what a lot of people thought 2019 was?
I
mean-
think so, because some people are dumb. Because I keep seeing a lot of the I can't wait to use the old intervention and stuff like that. It's like, the intervention might be in the game, but it's not going to be the old intervention. It's like how the M4 is in every Call of Duty game ever that's featured.
Those poor stupid people. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. So it's,
Now,
that's one where I'm like, okay.
To give the benefit of the doubt, at least for this game, or at least for 2019, it does not have a subtitle.
Nope, it's just Modern Warfare, and it's like not to be confused with Modern Warfare from 2007 or Modern Warfare Remastered from 2016. So,
Oh boy, oh
Which
boy,
are
oh boy.
completely different games.
Yeah, you don't want to see a martyrdom grenade just dropping when you knife someone, that's for sure.
Nope.
Where's Santa Claus?
Our UAV is online.
Oh, and I forgot about the mounted miniguns in a couple places. Those weren't obvious. Those obviously weren't there in 19. Ah! Point blank shotgun. Oh, we are tied.
We've taken the lead.
Ow. I shouldn't have picked up that grenade.
Nope.
Our UAV is online.
Ah, no.
Ah!
Oh.
We just got our
Great job, Loka. You ruined it.
He said it! There's only 2 of them.
I'm actually surprised how many matches today have been ended after I've died. Like I've been the final kill.
This is what, the third by my count at the very least?
I don't like to make fun of
Maybe.
people. Oh, who am I kidding? I love to make fun of people. But yeah.
It happens. That's Call of Duty
Yeah.
for you, really.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were talking about the maps earlier, and it's like in how the design language has changed and everything. I just heard someone leave. The leave sound effect. It's like ooh. It's like so many of these sounds are just so nostalgic. Ooh, there it is again. And then the little ba-bomb when people join. The sound design in this game is so good.
I'll be right back. I need to go pee, and I realize that you guys don't enjoy it whenever I take my mic into the bathroom. I'm just trying to give you guys an ASMR session, and you guys just aren't having it. I'm fed up. Also coming soon, Dexter-flavored bathwater.
No.
Please no.
So anyway, so I mean, obviously, this is the game that changed the design philosophy for the way Call of Duty built its multiplayer maps. But it's like, what? So moving forward, it's like, what do we think is the one that has the best multiplayer maps from starting here to modern? 2021, I guess.
That
team deathmatch.
is a very good question.
Let's do this.
And
We've taken the lead.
I feel like my answer to this might be a little boring, but I would say it's a close tie between this game and Modern Warfare 2, I feel. Because there are so many great and also iconic maps in both of those. And I also struggle to think of maps that I don't like in either of those games.
Yeah, that's because like when we were planning to do this, I was thinking of multiplayer again and everything. And it's like, when was the last time I played it? I'm like, oh yeah, there's like some really solid maps in here that I don't think of very often, but are really good. Like the Bazaar one we were on earlier. It's like that's a really good one that I enjoy. This guy's blocking my pad. Okay, thank you for moving, finally.
Keep up the fire. Enemy UAV is airborne.
But as time has gone on, though, I feel like I struggle to. Well, no, I don't struggle. I can't decide between the two of them. But I feel like Black Ops 1 has some really, really solid. Like I was talking about earlier, it's like there were 3 lanes, but they had the gimmicks in them and stuff. That was a good, solid bunch of maps.
Yeah.
That probably don't get talked about a whole lot. I mean, Nuketown gets repeated to death over and over and over and over. But there's a lot of maps from Black Ops that I would not mind seeing. Because like if Cold War had some of those Black Ops 1 maps put back in, which it seems like it didn't really, I would have maybe have had
launched. But it's funny you say that because there was 2 like in the year well, quotation marks, year 2, they did add 2 maps from the original Black Ops, WMD and Jungle.
Oh, I remember Jungle. I remember Jungle being added. I can't remember what WMD was though.
It's one of the snow maps.
Okay.
I don't really know how to explain the layout though.
Because one that I always loved, I think it was called Array, and it was one of the snow maps.
Oh,
as you said,
yeah.
But it was the big the radar station, and it had the room that everyone would always fight over. It's like that. That was such a really good map. And it had zip lines, I think, on it, where you could get from one side to the other pretty quick. So, or at least get up to a balcony or something like that. So that was really good. Oh, I think we lost Daxter in terms of him being kicked from the game as well.
Oof.
Probably should have I'll just dump us back into the lobby while we wait.
All right.
And continue talking about the maps, but...
Yeah, the original Black Ops has a lot of solid ones as well, and again, I'm also like struggling to think of any maps from that game that I didn't like.
Modern Warfare 3, I think, doesn't have a bad map in the bunch. However, I believe that they are all a little underwhelming overall. Because, like, I really like Underground, which is the London subway one. Because you know, I've been going through it again on PC for the campaign and stuff. And so, but you know, I've been playing Spec Ops here and there for like survival and the missions and everything. And so, like, just going through like the list of the maps, it's like, ooh, these are so like I think one of them is Liberation, the Paris map. I love that one. That's so good.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. But then I get to like. But then there's like one or two where it's like one of the Africa based ones that's at like a plant or something, and it's just like, oh yeah, that one's fine. I don't hate it, but I don't really love it either. It's like probably compared to other maps that have been introduced since, it's like, oh, this is miles better than anything from say Infinite Warfare probably. But I mean, yeah, that's really just okay, fine, whatever. But it did. But
cool.
But Modern Warfare 3 didn't have like have any like obvious standouts. Like, you know, this is like an amazing map. They were just like, oh yeah, these are good. But I think if I'm getting things in order here, I think Sledgehammer had a lot to do with like map design and stuff in Modern Warfare 3. So maybe that has part to do with it.
I mean, there had to have been a few good ones. Also, hi, I'm back.
Hey, there you are.
Yep.
So you were kicked for being idle. So
I am not surprised.
I am going to invite you back to the party.
Aw, you're so sweet.
So we were discussing, as you probably heard, we were discussing multiplayer maps in COD games. And we were like, so the discussion was like, you know, which game do you think has the best maps overall?
Huh, I can't join.
Oh boy, here we go. This is probably the...
Oh crap, here we go again.
Yeah, alright, sending out another invite, maybe it'll work that time. Because it's so weird where it just wasn't working, then oh hey, it's working. So I don't know why.
Because we're playing with a European. Go on. They're not playing anything. What the crap? What's going on?
See if you try joining, just joining without a party
I tried
invite, but
joining you. Nothing happened.
Okay.
I'm gonna try joining Loka now. Okay, nope.
Hmm. What's it say your nat type is? Down at the bottom right.
Moderate.
Okay.
Moderate.
What about you, Loka? Does it still say moderate or?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not the issue then, because we're all on moderate.
Even then, an open can connect with a moderate.
Okay, so let's try another invite. Because I mean, like I
Okay.
said earlier, this didn't work. Did work. So
Okay. Nope. And you guys aren't in a lobby or anything?
nope.
Nope.
We're just sitting here. I'm queuing us up for one now. Maybe if we get thrown into one, it'll let you join us. Or maybe we'll
Alright.
join one and then maybe we play one and then we back out again and then it'll work. It's like I don't know. When you said you're going to the restroom, I should have just backed us out of the lobby entirely and found a new
That's
match
okay.
then, because then you wouldn't have gone idle.
Hey, don't worry about it. Everyone makes mistakes. Except for me.
A very Captain Cork-esque saying.
Thank you, citizen.
Yeah,
I
see,
love-
now it's struggling to find us. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Never mind.
Come on, you
So
piece
we're
of
in a
crap,
we're in
let
a
me
we're in a lobby. See if you can join on us. There's only 8 people.
Okay.
Oh, now there's 10.
Attempting to join. Attempting to join. Nope.
That's so weird.
Very.
Oh, well, actually, looking at the time, maybe we need to do like one more and call it quits anyway.
Yeah.
Don't you have the day off tomorrow?
Huh?
Don't you have the day off tomorrow?
No.
Hmm.
No, tomorrow's my...
Okay. That's my cat.
Your cat's ringing the doorbell?
No, my cat's barking.
Oh,
We think she's broken.
it's a very strange cat.
Yeah, that's you might want to return it.
We're trying.
But yeah, no, I've really enjoyed this. It's going to be fun doing this big trip down memory lane on here, because...
Are there going to be any that you look back on more fondly or less fondly?
I mean, when we get to Siege, I think that's going to make for a very interesting discussion because of how much it's changed.
Siege? Oh, I thought you meant like in terms of COD.
Oh, it's like, I mean, Oh no, do you want to run through the plan again just to refresh Daxter's memory on how this is going to work, and for anyone that may have tuned in?
Yeah. So the plan for this road to Modern Warfare 2 or Modern 2 Warfare is Modern Warfare Remastered, Battlefield 4, Siege, Modern Warfare 2019, and then end it on Warzone, since
Okay.
that seems about right.
Where are we fitting in the open beta? And even the closed beta, since I did pre-order it.
Well, oh, you did? All right. Well, so there we go. But so we were discussing this last week off stream. I think maybe what we'll do is that we'll do the open beta on my channel, so that way we don't break up the cycle over here.
Okay.
And then of course, Loka will still be able to get content because he'll be able to grab highlights and stuff from his perspective and upload it, so it'll still work out.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But yeah, because the open beta is in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's very soon.
Well, actually, it's because the open PlayStation beta at that because they'll have the 2 weekends. So
When's the closed?
The weekend after.
Okay. That's odd, but okay.
Well, or no. I'm sorry.
Reverse those.
Strike that. Reverse it. It's the other way around. Is that the closed beta just on PlayStation is starting like next Wednesday. Then the open beta just on PlayStation is next Friday. Then the weekend after that is the open for everyone.
Oh, behind you, Prentice.
Okay.
Yeah, I was alerted, but this guy's a quick scoping machine.
Yeah. Oh, there's two of them. Because there's another guy that's using the S-Tac, whatever it's called.
Okay, so the guy was
getting out of hand yet.
So this guy was so quick in his shots, it didn't even show him killing me in the kill cam. It just showed him killing you. Like, I got your kill cam.
Yikes.
Which doesn't make sense, but okay. Ah, no! I got caught up chasing a guy to knife him in the back, and then I turned around and there was 3 people chasing me.
Oh. Ragdoll.
Okay, I was able to join because I went through the PlayStation menu.
Oh.
That's weird.
Okay.
We didn't try that. To be fair, we didn't try the join match using the PlayStation menu.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would have thought that.
Like on the profiles page, use
Like,
that.
No, like the home menu on the PS5. You know how they have. Here's what your friends are doing currently.
Right. Okay, see, I didn't think about that because I'm on the 4 playing this.
Oh, real man of the people there.
Well, I mean, it was still installed, so I mean.
Okay, that's why. I gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, when it came out for PS Plus and I was able to download this out without having to also have Infinite Warfare attached, I downloaded it and I haven't uninstalled it since. Even though it's been a long while since I played it, because I think like 2 years, because I think I played it a little bit to get a few random clips for the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remaster review I did when it came out, and then I didn't touch it after that, and up until like a month ago when I started getting more footage for this retrospective series I'm doing. So but I mean, it was there and waiting when I needed it, just thanks to the terabyte hard drive external I got. So no need to ever uninstall it, really. So I've just had Modern Warfare 1 and 2 just sitting there in my gigantic FPS folder.
Which is basically your entire library, save for like one game, which happens to be some sort of waifu RPG that you're not going to tell anyone about. Correct?
So,
That
with the
sounds like
exception of the waifu
projecting.
RPG, I'm not going to tell anyone about. That part is inaccurate because I don't have one of those on my console. But I mean, that's not that far off because it is a bunch of like other like random random games and the FPS games do make up the majority of my library. Yes. I'll take a picture of my folders here in a second when we wrap up and send it to you.
I'd love to see. I need to judge your collection. I have to do that with everyone I meet.
And then,
And
then, of course, that's not every game I own for PS4 because a lot of them aren't downloaded or installed right now. Rather. And I've got a bunch of others on disc because I've got like 2 Assassin's Creed games that are, or 2.5 Assassin's Creed games that aren't installed. Stuff. So.
Our UAV is online.
So remind me, how was
cheeky hiding in the?
I see how Battlefield can be incorporated into our discussion on Modern Warfare, but how is Siege going to play into that?
Because it started as a modern military shooter, and also the series it's based in is modern.
It then de-escalated from there.
Yeah, it became futuristic and stuff. But I mean, that was the baseline. So, I will say, Loka, when you included, I was kind of initially surprised. Like, well, I guess that makes sense.
Get him!
But
get him! Get him! Yes!
I also think it's a fortunate timing since we're getting a new season soon, and like I'm just still surprised that the new operator actually looks like a military guy.
Yeah,
like he actually looks like someone that would join Rainbow. Of course he technically doesn't because he's joining Nighthaven, but still,
of course.
That's like it's and that was actually interesting to watch when they did the reveal for that season, where like they were like, okay, we're gonna make a Nighthaven operator. Like how can we make one that is unique amongst the Nighthaven operators? Oh, we can do like a traditional military guy. We don't have any of those in the Nighthaven.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. That says a lot about the state of Siege.
What do they
Siege,
have in Nighthaven? If anything, of value. I mean, I take that back. They have Ace, so like that's the biggest positive that Nighthaven has going for them. They're pretty cool, or he's pretty cool. Not necessarily Nighthaven.
Honestly, I've been so tuned out with Siege that I just don't even really know.
Well, we can use that. We can use that casual bingo card that I found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I should make my own.
I actually saw one for Modern Warfare. I think it was Modern Warfare 2019. I'll see if I can find it again because that I suppose that's another of those. Oh, let's see how many we can cross off.
Also, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Oh boy.
I don't really have anything to say aside from the outro.
Okay. Then I was gonna say, yeah, I think the best perk in this game has to be eavesdrop.
Gosh, eavesdrop.
I mean, to be fair, well, not really to the quality of the perk, but the fact that they even went the extra mile to include it in this remaster, you know, that's one of those perks that they could have left out and no one would have noticed. Sure. But the fact that they still included eavesdrop really speaks volumes of how much care was put into this.
That's funny.
So yeah, that's we did it. We finally started this after man, it's so funny when I threw out that suggestion, like, oh, we it's not that many games to go through, so we can we don't necessarily have to rush through all of them. You know, we don't really get into that, and now we essentially have to rush through them all.
Yeah.
That it's funny how that how that works out. Which, funnily enough, was actually what was the origin story, so to speak, for Weekend at Loka's to begin with, since I kind of had this, maybe I'll do like a monthly recording session or something, where I just sit, once a month I record some footage. And it was a constant thing of, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week. Oh, now the month's over. It's like, okay, what if I force myself every week then? I guess I'll do that, and that worked out a lot better.
Remember that time we were going to play this, but we didn't? And then Sushi got called a slur or something?
Oh gosh, yeah. No, that's right. We did play this once. Oh, yeah, for just a little while at one point, because oh gosh, I had forgotten about that. Right, because we were going to do like a knife fight or something. Like
yeah, we're gonna do custom games.
Yeah, and then like it was me, Loka, and Sushi got on for a little bit, but then you were delayed and ended up not being able to make it. And so we called it off, but we played regular multiplayer while we were waiting, and without even streaming. And I'd forgotten about that. Where it's like one of the guys on the other team had a name that was similar to Matane. That's got to be a Bionicle reference, right? And so then Sushi switched teams and went over there and talked to him, and then they invited him to, they invited him to one of the text parties on PlayStation, and he said, "Yeah, they just called me a slur." It's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'd totally forgotten about that.
I think it was actually mortified, which is not something you detect on Silent Guardians.
Yeah, it's like no, his messages were coming in very quick, and they were very. I could tell there was a very little punctuation after that, so he was probably very surprised. So yeah, no, that was. Yeah, it's like, no matter what Call of Duty you're playing, you can always count on the community to call you some sort of slur. And on that note, Loka, are you ready to do the outro?
Speaking of slurs,
yeah,
is Loka now a forbidden word?
Well, there was that one time.
The spooky witch.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's not really a slur. That's more of an obscenity, but yeah.
Yeah, that's like that, and well, there was that time I dropped the F-bomb, but in my defense, I was reading a text in the game I was playing, and I didn't think, so I was just like reading through, and then the F word came, and I just read that aloud, and like, oh, hang on a second, that was the F word.
I'm not gonna hold that one against you.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna hold Prentice though to accidentally falling for a joke name.
Oh gosh, I can't even remember what it said, but yeah, that was
Genitals.
Bad. Yeah, that was bad. I was like, oh, I just got killed by blah 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 again, and then you guys immediately lost. I'm like, wait, what? What is it? I think he was in Siege. Even.
Yes.
It's like, oh yeah, that one blah 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 guy keeps killing me. It's like, oh wait a second, oh yeah, oh dear, oh no, I can't believe I just said that.
And on that
I'm glad
note,
I haven't done anything stupid.
Your stupidity is too large to quantify, so we have a hard time remembering specific examples.
All I know is that there's too many of them. And on that note, let's call it a day, or, well, that is a day.
Call of Duty it a day.
We've answered the Call of Duty, so now we can call it a day. How about
that?
Okay. Mine was better. I had better delivery.
So now we finally started this journey now, and I think the idea is to just go through this fairly quickly now, so we might be back next weekend already with this, and then I'll also see about maybe throwing in something else as well. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. You can also follow me on Twitter at LokaCola, and I've also been joined by Apprentice1215, who has his own YouTube channel.
I was trying to think of a good quote from Modern Warfare to end on, but a lot of quotes at the end of the game are about the characters dying, so maybe that's not the best thing to end on. So anyway, bye.
And Dax the Corp has also joined us.
Sorry I'm late, and I'm glad you finally got on with that outro. I was waiting for you to do it.
And we'll see you next time with Battlefield 4, probably. So we'll
Dun 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 dun.
which I guess makes sense now that we've answered the Call of Duty. Now we gotta go to the battlefield.
After that, there'll be a siege.
Yeah.
On a township, city-state.
Yeah. Bye, and signing off, and I don't know, stay frosty or something.